visiting Little Rock, Arkansas. Man, they got a whole Chinatown down this mother. What the hell? What's this?
Go.
Shit. I'm gonna walk in this mother. What is all this? Man, they got some John Cage and all this trees, man. All this stuff over here, man. What they got going?
Who is Shamond Johnson? Shamond Johnson, aka Big Mond, is an American poet and content creator from Arkansas. He found his talent of writing at a young age due to his teacher and family taking notice and how well he could express himself on a given subject. However, he described himself more as an introverted thinker, so becoming a poet and a performer was a big leap in developing his confidence. Now, Shamond's big breakout came from close connection with fellow peers from Little Rock, including Denzel Sir Rob, where through a mutual contact, Shamond got connected with a host that wanted more artists to perform at their events, which this led to Shamond's performing for the first time. Since then, Shamond continued to write, perform, network with others, and help build up artists within his community. Some of his more well-known performances include The Skit of Love and also Your Beauty. Due to a great sense of humor, Shamond also creates funny skits on social media, especially on his Instagram page.
Yeah, no, actually, I have 4 kids.
Damn. I'm sorry.
Hey, how you doing over there, Redbone?
You is ugly.
Well, damn.
And to this current day, Shamond has been building his own poetry slam events called Who Gonna Drop the Mic? To help out his community and help underground artists that have remarkable talent. Well, as I usually say, I don't want to spoil any more stuff, so stay tuned for my full conversation with the amazing Big Mond, where we will discuss more about his journey and break down some of his verses from his poems. Hey there, ARMA here. Welcome to a brand new Armavation conversation. Today I have a very special guest today. He can speak his heart out, express himself to the top, representing all the poetic individuals all the way from Little Rock, Arkansas, the amazing Big Mond, aka Shamond Johnson. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Appreciate it.
So
It's an honor to be here.
yes, finally. So thank you, Big Mond, for being here today. I appreciate you. I know we had difficulties with timing and everything, but I'm just glad you're here. And I asked Jules if there was anyone interested in sharing their story, and he recommended you. So I'm grateful I have the opportunity to learn and talk to you today. So thank you. Okay, so before we get started, I always ask my guests from human to human, how has life been for you? Did you have any highlights last year, or how are you enjoying this first month of the new year so far? How's things going?
Man, it's going. It's going. It's pretty good. It's challenge, new year you try to switch things up, you try to upgrade, you try to become a better person, and you try to just go through the wave of changes. Um, last year, in the poetry world, I built a name with competing and slamming, going to open mics, singing features and stuff. And now I'm in the process of becoming my own host of a show coming out soon. I can't put the information fully out yet, but it's in the progress. Hopefully, I'll be able to start a YouTube about it, and just trying to keep growing and like what you do, put artists on a spotlight and
Mm-hmm.
just set a foundation, for people to just show their talent.
Oh, awesome.
So,
Well, congratulations on working on your show. I hope all goes well with that. That's amazing. Okay.
appreciate it.
Okay, so let's get started, right? So let's break it down to the early stages of your career, as an outspoken artist. Take us back to the earlier days when you discovered your passion, to want to be a poet, perform in front of others. How did your journey start?
It's kind of hard to explain. It's more of I wasn't. It was something that I didn't see myself doing. Um, I was very antisocial. I was very introverted, and I didn't like speaking in front of people at all. I have a
Mm.
very chill personality and voice, so I don't even talk loud in general. Um,
Same here,
so
same here.
so the thing was, um, I was always since I was so quiet, I thought of like I always was thinking, and I was observant. I'm always watching things, and I'm always thinking, and I think what kind of got me into writing poetry because I was good at writing stories, and
Mm.
I kept an A in English. I don't know how, but I kept an A in English. But I was I was a good story writer, and I remember my teacher. I had this one teacher. She was grading me. She was grading my essay, and she used to tell me she was like, "Shamon, you are a powerful writer. You just don't have penmanship. You just can't write."
Mm.
So,
Oh my god.
she just feel like, yeah, you just got, if I could understand it, it would be good. And I was like, okay. So it was like, you know what? I gave you an F, but I'm gonna let you type it, and I'm gonna see what you can come up with. So I ended up retyping the whole essay, and it was about my mom. My mama, she was dealing with colon cancer, and
Mm.
she cancer free and everything, but she was dealing with colon cancer at the time, and I was young and I didn't understand what was going on, but you know, that was something that was on my heart to write about, and I wrote it out. The first time handwriting it, she was just like, I can't understand it, and then when I finally typed it out, like she was crying, she was like
Aw.
she was bawling. She
Wow.
was like, "This is very deep and everything," and she was like, "You're a great writer. You just type it." So, um, you know, so after that, I started writing just different little stories and stuff like that. And then my home church. I'm originally from Palm Bluff, Arkansas. I just currently live in Little Rock and perform in Little Rock. But my home church in Palm Bluff, dealing with the youth, and they was like, "Hey, you so quiet and to yourself. I need you to do something." And so they was like, present a Christmas poem or something for us. And I got a Christmas poem online. I didn't understand. I just read it.
Mm.
And so, when you in church, you don't believe in Santa Claus and stuff like that. You know, um, but and I said that in the midst of church, and everybody kind of just looked at me like, uh oh. So after that, I started writing my own things. They started giving me topics to write on, and we used to have like you speak out words of wisdom, and I started writing my own little stuff, and they just loved it. And once I moved to Little Rock, I was mainly doing Christian poetry in Palm Bluff, and then once I moved to Little Rock, Sir Rob, he performed in the show, and Sir Rob, he was like, "Man, they looking for other artists," and I was joking. I was like, "Man, I'll do a poem or something, if they need me to." And I thought he was joking. He hit the person up like the next day, and the a host hit me up. I was like, "Hey, I heard you a poet, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Not really, but I tried." And then that was my first show that I did. Then I got connected with my poetry group, Lemon Pepper Poetry Slam. Um, I had a slam there. I slammed there and got cool with everybody. And after that slam, he started asking me. He called me. He got my contact information, asked me to perform somewhere else, and I just kept with it. Just started going to slams and open mics, and
Oh
now I'm
wow.
here.
Yeah, that's
So
amazing,
yeah,
and it seems based on what you're saying too. A lot of it is a mix of you, you know, trying to get out of your comfort zone with a mix of people like noticing your talent and giving you opportunities. So when those two come together, it's like the magic happens. So that's really
that's
that's really interesting and good right there. And I'm glad to hear your mother's doing better, as you mentioned. So this,
So,
yeah, okay. So speaking about your journey, you mentioned Rob. Uh, so can you get into like how did you meet Rob, Jules? I know another name is Denzel and other artists in your area growing up. Like, how have they influenced you as an artist? And do you think, like, how do you think you influenced them yourself as an artist?
so for starters, Denzel, that's my blood cousin.
Oh,
He's like
okay.
yeah, we grew up together. Denzel is originally from Palm Bluff too. But he moved to Little Rock at a young age, and he was been down here for a long time. And Denzel's part of the dance community, and so with Denzel and Rob, both of them got into a dance group. Um, they was doing like during the summertime and all that, and that's how they got connected. And Jules and Rob, that was like brothers, best friends. And
Mm,
so, you know, but Denzel been my cousin and everything. He used to always bring up the different people he used to dance with. So I used to come watch him perform and everything. And in Little Rock, we used to have these things like dance sessions, um, down the River Market Pavilion. And so, at the time, I just got my car, I just got my license, and I used to sneak down here to
mm.
come support my cousin. And I was I was Zell's little cousin. That was like that's Zell's cousin. And then getting everybody, they got used to my face. And as time went on, and then I finally moved to Little Rock. I kind of got okay. That's Shamond, that's Mond, that's Shamond. And then when I started doing poetry, and I like certified my name with Big Mond, and then content creator, I did videos and stuff too. And when I certified Big Mond, everybody like, hey, that's Big Mond right there. Um, they influenced me because I was real big on being like I said, I was in a shell. I wasn't kind of really into performing and stuff like that.
Right.
And seeing them all the time performing, and seeing that crowd reaction, and everybody like, "Oh, what's up, Denzel? Or, hey, that's Sir Rob." It used to just motivate me, and I'm just like, "Wow, I want to find my talent. I want to find something I'm into that people can remember me for."
Mm-hmm.
And I know I could dance. I could dance. I could do a little wave or stuff. You know, but I knew that wasn't my calling. I know that was something. I know I was different. And
Mm,
when I got into the poetry world, you know, I built my name, Big Mon, and then now, they look up to me. It's like we look up to each other, but now it's like my wave is happening. They look up to me because I went from just doing simple performance of slamming or doing open mics to hosting shows and you know putting them in the shows, and just creating this space for them to broadcast their talent while I broadcast my talent.
mm,
And so it's kind of like they clap it up for me
mm-hmm.
because even at the times when they chilling, I still bring them out their shell. I'm like, hey, I know your calling. Come on, I need you. So we bounce off each other, man. And Drew has been a chill guy. He was just
Yeah.
that chill guy. He just loved Drew because he was there. Um, and now that he's starting to broadcast his talent, I'm very proud of him. And he asked me for pointers about wordplay and everything, and I'm just like, I'll tell anybody when it comes to writing poetry, music, or whatever. Everybody got their own writing style. Everybody got their own way of doing things. So I can only kind of give you suggestions, but I can't really teach you how to write. You
Right.
know. So yeah, we just all in our own talents, and we just bounce off, support each other, and just feed each other energy. And hopefully we'll be a very big successful group that do multiple things. So
I'll say that
yeah,
manifested you guys will. You will. You guys will
Most
definitely.
definitely, amen.
Yeah, and that's good to see. Like when you're around different artists, especially that this is what the good thing is about being artists, doing different mediums and doing different forms of art. It's like you guys are doing different things, but it's still within the same kind of industry, and you're kind of like seeing what other people are doing, and it is just like you said, everybody's like bouncing off ideas or being inspired by each other. So it's always helpful to have that strong community within the art field. So definitely, yeah. Okay, so I want to ask you: is there any more people you want to shout out that you felt have they have helped you grow in your life or in your career currently?
For starters, my poetry mentor, the person that kind of got me into poetry, the leader of Lemon Pepper Poetry Slam, Risby St. Clair. That's my guy, man. That's he one of the poets that he kind of built the foundation for me to start performing. I did my first show at this place when I moved to Little Rock, but that person connected me with Risby, part of Lemon Pepper Poetry Slam to Slam over there, where he did his shows, and I lost, and
Hmm.
it was funny how we met because I was kind of iffy. I was like, man, I lost.
Hmm.
I'm all in my feelings, and I had a shirt that said like dope, like you're a dope person, and he was like, yo, Paul was dope, bro, and I was like, what you talking about, you know? And then I read my shirt. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, appreciate it, thank you, and and after that, he hit me up one day. He texted me on Instagram. He was like, "Hey man, I need a few poets to perform at the Arkansas State Fairground. They asked us to perform, and I would love if you could come out and perform with us." And when I did perform, and they loved us, and after that, it's just like we built the bond. Just being friends, and then he started teaching me like the different ways of poetry, and boom. So Risby St. Clair for sure, because he kind of made that walkway for me to continue doing poetry and everything. The whole Lemon Pepper crew, Aunt Jean, Athena, Carter Kirby, Jazz, just the whole crew. Another poet that inspired me, his name is True Poet. He is from Little Rock too. He's a like slam poet, and he travels and everything. Very good poetry poet. He got the style that I want as a poet. Um, we kind of got that same style. We do like love and can do some sentimental, and I just love how he performed his style. So True Poet, that's another one, and yeah, my Lemon Pepper Poetry crew, True Poet, that's the bro, and family, my
Well,
siblings, and
awesome, awesome.
so yeah.
Shout out to all of them. Shout out. Okay. So, as artists, we have the highs and lows. And sometimes we could get in our heads about different things when it comes to creativity. So, I want to ask you, what would you say has been your biggest moment as an artist, and then what do you feel has been your lowest moment?
My biggest moment as an artist. My biggest moment so far will be last year. We had a slam, we had a competition, and poets came from. It was most of us was local poets, but it was two poets that came from out of town. I mean, from different states. Um, One of them is Righteous Soul. She's from Memphis, Tennessee, and she's like a 17 um slam champion.
Wow.
Like say like she's cold. Alice the Great, she's from Texas. She's from I want to say Dallas, Dallas or Houston. No, I think Dallas, Texas. Same with her. She like 15, 16 world champion, like woman
Mm.
champion slam poet, like both of them came down to slam in Arkansas, and that's hard because a lot of people don't really know about poetry in Arkansas like that. Both of them came to slam, and I was able to slam with them, and being in even to rank with them, it was Righteous Soul first place, Alice Gray second, I was third. That was like the biggest moments because it showed me that I had a talent to be with well-known artists, and for them to be like, well, you big man, we coming to go against you. It was kind of like, oh my god, like, I'm famous or whatever. Like, but yeah, just going, just to even be in the rankings with them, it was an honor. Because it showed me that my talent is something that's serious. I don't need to sleep on my talent, and like these are people that I watched on YouTube or I heard their names before I really got into poetry like that. And they in places that I want to perform at. And
Mm.
so it was just the fact of being in a room with them and actually going against them, it was an honor. That was probably my biggest show ever to me that I enjoyed. Um, you know, I got yeah, that's probably one of the biggest ones. The worst moment that I had as an artist so far. Um, you know, like I said, I'm from Palm Bluff. Um, and I moved from Palm Bluff so I can kind of spin and learn more stuff and everything. And so, as me being from there, I think as if I was to come down there and perform, I would have much support. But I came down there and performed a few times and it was great. But I had one moment where I kind of felt like I kind of got set up for failure.
Mm.
It wasn't more of like I understood what they was trying to do, but it backfired and I didn't understand it. But it was a huge performance downtown, but it was with the school and everything, and I was like one of the only artists that performed on like a little side road that they
Right.
customized. I didn't get just perform on the big stage.
Mm-hmm.
So picture performing like that, and you don't have really nobody around you, and your siblings and all the people trying to hype you up, and like it's kind of like, man, what I'm doing is for. And I pushed through that whole performance.
Wow.
I did the best I could, but I know deep inside I was hurt. I was so hurt.
Oh.
Um, I pushed through it as much as I can, but deep inside I was very emotional because I didn't understand why. And like I said, I feel like when you're an artist that make it out, and when you come back, you would think people kind of speak highly of you or whatever, and so you
Right.
would think things will be set up in order for you. But I had to take it as the woman. She didn't actually know me fully. I was just recommended to her, and she probably didn't know how to set everything up. But I was hurt, So,
Yeah.
but I could. I had to realize I had to grow from it, and
Mm-hmm.
at the moment I was kind of like, man, forget performing at home. I ain't performing here ever again. But you live and you learn. You grow. You gonna have moments like that. So. But so far, this probably one of the hardest moments I've had.
Yeah, I could definitely relate to what you're saying, even with what I do with this channel. Like, there's there's people you may reach out to have conversations with, or they're like, oh, they're interested in stuff, and then next thing you know, they ghost you. And you're like, oh, well, I prepared all of this just to. So it's kind of like
Factual.
you just gotta keep moving, like you mentioned, but it's not easy. Okay. So, speaking of poetry, besides yourself, what other poets or poems in general are you inspired by?
Um, like I said, True Poet. He's a local artist from Arkansas, Little Rock. He inspired me a lot. Because the topics that he choose and the way he writes his stuff, he's not just a poet, he's a performer.
Hmm.
It's like he used like theater and poetry put together. So, um, I love his performance skills. So I love watching him perform. I love getting a chance to slam against him or being on the same show as him. That's one of the guys I actually watch. Um, but my top poet, my favorite poet, his name is Black Chakra. He was for Baltimore, and he's one of those people that got me into all style poetry.
Hmm.
I used to be on YouTube just watching stuff, and he made a poem called what is it? What is it? I just had it in my head. Um, I'm gonna think about it in a few,
Hmm.
but
You're fine.
um, yeah, he does this thing of telling stories, but he got aggression in his stories, so you can feel where he coming from. You can feel his pain. Um, so that's one of the people I watch. And then with slamming, like he's a poet and a battle rapper,
Oh,
and
okay.
him, so yeah, and also him being from Baltimore. Most people from Baltimore got that little dog in them, that little aggression in them,
Hmm.
and he take what he do seriously. He's one of the like he's like a world champion slam poet.
Wow.
Like he traveled all around the world to slam, and when I say usually when he step in the room, you know his name. Like you go if you don't, you gonna remember him. So
Hmm.
that's my goal is to slam against him one day. But deep inside, I just want to meet him and just say I'll perform on the same stages.
Right.
Um, but yeah, Black Chakra, that'd be one of the top poets for me. That I enjoy watching. I love his poem "Get at Me, Dog." Like his punchlines were so crazy, and I always say one of the lines, um, that people know my name. You don't have to cheer, and like I use that all the time because it's a way of life. Like
Right.
once you keep performing, you keep doing things. Like you don't always need celebration and clap because people know your name. You left a mark on people,
Right.
so
Yeah, that
most
that
definitely so.
that's a good way to put it. Yeah, definitely. I gotta check them out myself based on how you're describing it. I gotta definitely check them out. Okay.
Most definitely.
So as I was talking to Jules, he mentioned you know, once again he recommended you and your peers, and he thought it would be a good idea to put more spotlight on artists in Arkansas. So can you explain to us, like, how would you describe the art culture in Arkansas for outsiders that aren't aware or don't really know?
To describe it, um, picture diamonds in a dirty box,
Ooh.
like like diamonds in like this very very trash box,
Mm.
and you won't know what's in there until you finally rip through the trash and open it up. To
Mm.
explain that, um, it's a lot of artists with dancing, singing, rapping, motivated speaking, poetry, writers. Like it's so many different artists that's great in Arkansas. It's just that it get trashed up all the negativity around Arkansas. Um, so that's one thing that's kind of stopping us. And also, well, Arkansas, like, um, if Arkansas was more supportive of the people, we will be in a better place. Like,
Mm.
um, if we was to be able to actually collab and actually, come together and not have an excuse on why we can't collab or why we can't come together, or like gatekeep. I call it gatekeeping.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to teach somebody else to for them to move to the next level, we'll be okay. We got some artists that will help, and we got some people that will set platforms and stuff to build artists. But it's a lot of artists. A lot of people in Arkansas, especially like where I'm from, or like in this whole town, um, it's kind of like we don't support each other until you get famous, until you get a name.
Okay.
You know, so that's why I say it's like diamonds in a trash box. Like a
Mm.
lot of people, when they kind of, if they was to come from different states or cities, or we was to go to their city or state and perform, they'll ask like, "Where we from?" And it's like, "I'm from Arkansas." Arkansas? Like y'all
Oh,
have
I see.
talent there?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah,
Okay.
because too many people don't know about it, or they hear so much negativity from Arkansas till they don't realize when they see people that actually got talent there. It's kind of like you was a diamond in the rough. Like yeah, like where have you been hiding it? So
Mm-hmm.
um, like I said, Arkansas have plenty of talent. It's just that we got to do better with supporting each other. We gotta like don't wait until the person start popping. Like
Mm-hmm.
try to push them out now, or don't wait just because they do the same thing as you. Don't try to be like, nah, I'm not gonna tell them about this show because they probably steal it or something like that. Like, nah, let's go and push each other up so all of
Mm.
us can win.
Yeah,
So yeah.
come on, y'all, tap into Arkansas. That's why I'm doing this conversation right here with Big Mun, because we need to know more about the talent and the art culture in Arkansas. Like, it's like it feels like, the based on how you describe it, you guys are kind of like the underdog of a team, with the Super Bowl on the way. There's always the underdog and then the favorites, right? So, it's like there's beauty in all different places and areas, and you shouldn't always be so quick to judge, because like you mentioned, you don't know until you actually like interact and talk with different people. So
Most definitely, most definitely.
can you name some significant areas or places? I know you mentioned Lemon Pepper, but some other places in Arkansas where if people wanted to network with other artists or get their name out there, like what would you recommend? Like I said, I know you promoted the Lemon Pepper Poetry Slam, so yeah, break it down for us.
Depending on what you want to do, like what type of artist you are, like poetry, Limit Up Poetry Slam is kind of like the most trending poetry spot here so far. We have a few places. Lemon Pepper Poetry Slam. If you into music and stuff like that, we have Aphrodisia, where they have open mics and stuff for music artists. They focus on rappers, singers. We have the Rev Room, downtown Little Rock, where they usually have open mics, and usually there's like the Rev Room is like a big platform for artists, especially in the music world, because like they have shows there all the time, and even when we have like big name artists, usually they're trying to come to the Rev Room to perform, and the owner, he's very very genuine, he's very cool, and he's also trying to get work poetry in there too. So the Rev Room, Aphrodisia, the House of Arts was one. Plus, different spots in different areas. Um, like Hot Springs, that's another city. They have a lot of events for poets and artists too. Um, Rose Garden in Little Rock. Little Rock. It's a coffee shop called Rose Garden. Market. They pretty good with open mics and stuff. Osiris is one of the hosts from them. Osiris, he's a poet too, and he do open mics at Rose Garden, and it's a cool, dope coffee place. It's so smooth, and they have different events where they have DJs coming in. For one day they have an open mic with poets, rappers, singers. They have days where they just have a jazz day. Um, they're pretty good. Another spot, Gigi, they do like different shows with like blues and R&B, old school music and stuff like that. Um, There's a few places off the top of my head that I'm thinking about now.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, even Palm Bluff. Palm Bluff, you got the Arts and Science Center where for poets and everything. We used to have a place called the Avenue in Palm Bluff. I think that's still a thing too, where they do different shows and stuff for artists, rappers and singers, and they had poets there too. So yeah, there's a few places. I wish I could give
Get
you a full list and a rundown. So
okay, okay, uh, okay. So, based on going through your Instagram, I noticed there was some events you promoted. So, I want to list out just a few of these places and events, and I just want you, if you can, kind of describe it in your own words. What was that event like? Or if you want to, for fun, if you want to describe that one event in one word, you could do that as well. Okay, so I'm gonna go with open mic poetry at River City Coffee.
over my fortune, Rivers. Okay, that show that was Scholar J. Scholar J is the person that gave me my first show that I was talking about earlier. That was connected by Sir Rob. So Scholar J, he does poetry. Well, Scholar J, he's like theater, but he's a host. And he's host mainly for he do all artists, but his main focus are for LGBTQ community. So he do like drag shows and stuff like that. But Scholar J is one of those hosts that created the show because he was bored and like he kept working on it and it just started growing. It was the summer slideshow, and then something happened to where he had to move, and that's when he moved to River City Coffee, and that's when he started focusing on mainly poetry, because he do poetry too, and so he remembered me from performing at the Summer Slide Show, and he called me and he was like, "Hey man, I would love you to be a feature there at the River City Coffee," and I was like, "For you, sure, I'll be there," Um, uh, when I performed there, it was a great experience. It was just an honor for him to call me and just ask me to perform to have a feature spot. I think I performed two poems, three, and I know I did a dedication to my sister because it was her birthday that day, and I did a poem dedicated to her, um, just showing my love for her, and I had a picture drawn out for her and
Oh.
everything, and it was cool. It was so cool. But it was a great vibe there. It was fun. Um, Rivers River City Coffee is like a spot. It's a very cool laid back spot. It's like a library slash it's so cool.
Mm.
But it was a great event, and I just love what he's doing. What he was doing at that time, because he was just showing it was a safe place for everyone. No matter what you is, no matter what you describe yourself as, it's a safe place for you to show your work. So yeah,
Awesome.
it was a
Yeah.
good time.
Okay, next one. The Breakfast Champions of Slams at the Labyrinth.
So oh man, so that's slam. That's lemon pepper poetry slam. We throw lemon pepper poetry slam usually throw shows with different things. The labyrinth was one of those places we was the venue we would sit at, and it was I'm not gonna say weird, but it was weird because you're trying to create different ways to buy poetry that relates to breakfast. And so
Ah.
it was funny. It's a challenge just to see your writing skills. Um I think with that one, too many people didn't slam, but it was a lot of different. We heard some interesting stories. Like we had some interesting stories. Like I even made a poem about a granola bar, and it
Okay.
was it was weird because I made a poem about a granola bar, a Nature Valley granola bar, describing how it would. To, it was comparing a
Mm-hmm.
granola bar to a female. So
Oh.
yeah, it was different, but it challenged. It was a challenge. It just showed you
Okay.
about rain. So
Okay.
yeah.
I'm sure if anyone knew how to compare a woman to a granola bar, it would be you, Mon, because I wouldn't know how to start that off. Okay.
That was crazy. Like,
Okay, so next one, the House of Art, hosted by True McCoy.
okay, so True McCoy, that's the poet that was talking about True Poet. The House of Arts is one of the that's one of the oldest poetry spots in Little Rock. Most of the poets, if you're a poet that touched Little Rock, great chance you came through the House of Arts, you've been to the House of Arts. Um, True Poet is one of those poets that I support. So, usually if he threw one, I'll be there. And most of the times when he has something, it'll be funny. And True Poet love to tell these little corny jokes, but they be so funny. They be like little dad jokes, but they be hilarious. And so, um, and usually he bring the vibes, man. Usually everybody, when they come to True Poet's shows that he hosts, he bring energy. He's genuine, humble. So, you know, every night that he had a show, I tried to show up when I could because I know it was gonna be full of vibes and peacefulness. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay, and last one here, Slamageddon, the House of Art versus Lemon Pepper Poetry Slam. What went on with that event?
Oh, cool. You just don't understand. that that was almost that was really. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of lied earlier because you kind of brought that back in my head. That that show made me the poet I am today.
Mm.
That show put me on the list so high, so high. I'm gonna tell you the backstory.
Okay.
So, um, you know, and once they see this, they probably gonna be like, "Dang, that's how you felt." But yeah, so all right, cool. So, um, Lemon Pepper Poetry Slam started at the House of Arts. But we separated because he had a bigger idea. He wanted a bigger venue, and he saw the show was growing, and he kind of wanted to, well, no hard feelings and everything. And you know, things happen when you choose to grow and separate, and it got rocky.
Mm-hmm.
But not too deep, but it got rocky. And Lemon Pepper started growing and growing and growing, and then House of started growing and do their thing. And so we was like, you know what? Let's just do a local matchup. A local matchup between poets. House of Arts they got their own thing, and Lemon Pepper got their own thing. Let's create a team and go head to head. So boom, Lemon Pepper created their team. Lemon Pepper created their team. I mean, House of Arts created their team. Lemon Pepper created their team. And in the midst of all this, we finally put in our names into the team match and everything, and just letting everybody know who will be going against each other, blah blah blah. And boom. So we started promoting it. And like I said, my home going to Palm Bluff this time, so I got hurt a
Mm.
little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a show in Palm Bluff. Um, we had a slam in Palm Bluff, and I ended up slamming. And True Poet was the host. He was the host, so I was like, okay, cool, cool, cool. But the people that was part of True Poet's team in the House of Art was slamming too.
Mm.
And one of the guys, I'm gonna try not to say his name,
Mm-hmm.
but one of the guys, we was all slamming. That's a competition. But the thing was, I wasn't fully aware that it was going to be kids at this place
Oh
because
no.
I got so used to writing adult poetry,
Right. Right.
and because when you slam, it's mainly all 21 plus. So my well known poem is called CT. And
Mm.
yeah, I performed it and I kind of felt the awkward vibe. But remind you, I forgot that they did say it was kids at the show.
Mm.
And I got a 10 that night from that poem. And, I got like a 7.5, the lowest. I
Mm.
got a 10 that night. But I performed that show, I mean that poem at the House of Arts.
Mm.
When I performed at the House of Arts, the same person that gave me a 10 at the House of Arts was the same person that threw shade at me at
Oh.
at the Palm Bluff show. And I know it probably was a joke, but
Mm-hmm.
at the time I was hurt because I felt a lot of people saying stuff like that about me or towards me, and I
Mm.
didn't know why. And so, I'm one of those people when my feelings hurt. You, if I got the chance to use it against you, I'm gonna use it. And so
Mm.
we went against. He was part of the team, and
Okay.
so instead of taking my anger on him, I took it out on the whole team.
Oh my goodness.
So I made a diss poem to the whole team, and I dissed everybody hand one by one off the whole team, and like that made the crowd go crazy. Nobody was safe on that team, and so after the diss, it was like my respect level went up skyrocket. It was like Big Mom, just the whole team by himself. What? Like,
Oh my goodness. Wow.
yeah, I did them dirty, and then I went I went to the House of Arts, and I did like they had a tribute there. I mean, they had a an anniversary there. I think it was their ninth anniversary, and I did a tribute to all the poets that was like part of the House of Arts. Just saying I apologize.
Okay. So yeah, like moving want to transition to like you using social media to help promote yourself, right? So uh I just want to ask, what challenges did you face when trying to build your online community from the ground up? Like when you first started posting your first few videos, right? Did you have the support you wanted already, or did you have to really go out your way to network and say, "Hey, I have this platform, check it out"?
Oh, it was tough.
Mm.
Like I said, I was an introvert. Like I didn't fool with nobody. Um, like I was well known because I was a nice guy and I did like a lot of like community events. I always was helping people out. But like I started doing content creating first. I did TikToks and Musically and all the little different sites and stuff. And I kind of built my name off that first, and then I started introducing poetry, to the thing. And even now, I still don't post enough poetry videos that I need to post. But most people know now that I actually do events and stuff. So once I post flyers, they kind of catch on. But my name, when it comes to the social media wave, my social media didn't grow until, well, my social media grew because of my videos, my comedy videos and stuff.
Mm.
And then I started introducing poetry since I kind of had a fan base. So yeah, that's what I came about. And then
Okay, okay.
fans from the, yeah, fans from the comedy and fans from the poetry, they just combined together now.
Mm-hmm. And when you mentioned your TikToks, your comedy bits here and there, and promoting events, did you ever have to struggle? Did you ever feel like you struggled with posting what people wanted to see versus posting what you just wanted to share?
Oh yeah, because um, especially with me, I have a big name. Well, not a big name, but I'm kind of represented in a way. A guy growing up in church, sweethearted guy, nice guy, and everything. So you kind of got this image already, and so like when I perform, when I start doing these comedy things, when it comes to making TikToks and all this stuff, your horizon expands quickly, so you don't know. if you'll do something about some just ha ha kiki is funny, something very goofy, something that's probably more adult side
Mm.
and all that stuff. And me being the guy that I am, and having a certain followers like church members and family members and stuff, you kind of hold back on posting stuff because you're like, man, I don't want them to say something to me and blah blah blah.
Mm.
And it became a time where um, you know, my church members were a bit like, yeah, I had to stop. Like one time, I got heated. I was kind of hurt because I had a church member tell me that they stopped following me because of my videos and all that stuff. I'm just like,
Mm.
you you watch comedy and stuff all the time though.
Right.
So just because you got this image on me don't mean I was like, okay, cool. And it got to a point like that. And then I got to a point where I realized like you can't really care about stuff like that because you gonna hold out on your potential and hold out on what your talent is, and just because you care about what everybody else think, and it's like forget what everybody else think because what you holding out on could be that thing to be your breakthrough. What you holding out on can be that thing to get you a look from somebody bigger that actually can put millions in your pockets.
Mm.
So
Right.
people gonna judge you regardless. People
Yeah.
gonna always have something to say. So
Yeah.
just go do
That's
it.
true. That's definitely true. Okay. So, I wanted to, well, as you are a poet, I wanted to finally transition to talk about the fundamentals when it comes to poetry, right? And also discuss some of your performances that I've seen you post. So, how would you describe, on a basic level, poetry to someone in your own words?
Poetry, the basic way to describe poetry to me is gathering up words and just letting it flow out your head and see does it make sense and does it rhyme and does it have a meaning behind it.
Mm.
Most poets, they don't, some poets, they focus on rhyming. Some poets focus on punchline. Some poets focus on doing stories. Some people just go up there and just get to talking. So it just depends on the way that you write or you go with it. But like I would tell anybody, just sit down and write and just ask yourself, does it make sense? What's the meaning behind it? And how would you perform this? If you was about to perform, how would you perform it? Would you go in a slow cadence, or would you go in a fast motion? Would you make it sound like a rap or a song, or stuff like that? But to break it down, you just really put words together and just see what the words are for. Really, um, that's not the basic way I can break it down.
Well, I know you mentioned people have different ways, different styles of expressing themselves when it comes to poetry. But what do you think of sort of like key factors when writing or performing a poem? Like what must you have to make things sound poetic? So it all flows together.
First off, I would say make sure if, especially if you're like I'm a storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
So like make sure you got an eye catcher. It's like writing an essay when you're a storyteller. You got an eye catcher, you got punchlines, and you got something to sum up everything that you're talking about. So people won't just be like they heard all these punchlines, but they still don't know what you're talking about. Like rap style or music style. Make sure people can actually hear what you're saying. Pronunciation is gonna be a big thing when it comes to that type of style because some poets they rap very fast or they do it very fast and just like
Mm-hmm.
um propose up in the line of and it's like okay, I hear this is a flow, but I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It just sound like words mushed up together. So pronunciation and kind of like slowing your words down. That's a big thing. Um, and if you just a freestyle poet, like a poet that just got their own thing, just make sure your voice projects pretty well. Make sure you kind of put power and bass in your voice
Mm.
so people can understand. Just making sure you be able to do different ways like that. Because if not, and also when it comes to performing, you're gonna be nervous. I don't care
Mm.
what nobody say. You're gonna have moments where you get the jitters and stuff like that. But take a deep breath and like uh, practice. First off, practice. I tell anybody practice like you finna perform on stage right now.
Mm.
Um, Even when I perform, like if it's a show that I really, really like take into heart, I'ma practice every day until I get my performance down because your words can be great, but if you don't have no action and performance behind it, people ain't gonna feel what you're talking about. So like poetry, especially if you're gonna perform it on stage, make sure that you got your wordplay and stuff down together. Also, you got a performance behind it. So, it can set tones. It's mainly just the goal is to set the tone of what you're talking about.
And based on what you said there, do you think that it's more effective when someone's writing a poem or performing a poem?
Writing,
Writing.
because yeah, the reason why I would say writing because you know it's a lot of people like in the poetry world now that I watch. They are great performers, but their writing is trash. And it's not even trying to throw shade. It's just like but it's a lot of people that writing is very good, but their performance is trash. But writing, if people can at least get what you're talking about, and you kind of made somebody feel stuff away, like you kind of hit on a subject that's pretty deep and everything, and I was able to hear your words, but you was sitting here reading your phone, that's gonna mean more because they understood what you was talking about, and you just needed some more actions behind it.
Mm.
But if you go up there and perform, and your words are just like nursery rhymes, it's kind of like okay, you're a great performer, but I still don't know what you was talking about.
Mm.
So that's why I would say actually being a writer and having good wordplay or having a good topic to speak on would be way better than performing any day.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Back to the fundamentals, I guess. Okay, so
Yeah,
so what would you say is the difference between poetry and spoken word? Because some people could be like, "Oh, what's the difference?" You know.
I never really saw a difference. I feel like you do. Well, I think poetry, you gotta poetry is where you can kind of do. That's when the different styles come in. Poetry, you kind of can take it as you can do it mainly in different ways. The musical way, the deep activist way. Like, there's so many ways you can do poetry.
Right.
Um, because poetry is really just words you putting together. So you can be a rapper and be a poet. You can be a singer and be a poet. Like, it's so many ways.
Mm.
You can be an actor and be a poet. It just really put words together in your own style. Spoken word, I think you mainly more of uh, it's more of like motivated speaking in
Mm.
a way.
Okay.
I think that's how to put that. Spoken word is more like you are a performer, but it's mainly like for positive impacts and
Yeah.
motivated speaking and just boosting energy.
You mentioned there's different styles and ways to express yourself through a poem. So why do you feel, just to anyone out there that questions it, why do you feel that poets matter? Why are poets needed in our society or in our world today?
Because poets are one of the only talents to me where you can get deep as possible
Mm.
and it's like no filter. It's no like me. I describe myself to be the voice of the crowd. That means I want to talk about stuff that the voice. I mean, I want to talk about stuff that the crowd not comfortable talking about, but I want to go on stage and talk about it so they'll know they're not alone. You know,
Mm, mm.
they know that somebody goes through the same thing as them. It's just that they was bold enough to talk about it, so you can be more comfortable. Like, man, I really appreciate you. Like most people, I don't care about winning slams and stuff. I won when somebody come to me one on one, but like, man, the poem you did touch my heart. I can relate to it. That's what makes me more. That's what makes me want to do poetry because my goal is to be the voice of the crowd. Literally, like anything that the crowd is going through or they don't want to talk about, I'm gonna talk about it so they can be comfortable.
That's definitely relatable. And other artists out there too would say whether you're a visual artist or you're doing acting or music or whatever you're doing, like it touches you when someone comes up to me be like, wow, this really I relate to this subject you talked about or whatever you did, and it really touched me in a way and inspired me. That feels more genuine. So I definitely could relate to that. I don't know if you saw this, but you probably have. A long time ago, DMX did a spoken word performance on the music industry, and he was kind of expressing like his frustration with the music industry. So, do you believe that like poetry, spoken word, all that can be used to talk about negative feelings or situations in a more so raw way? Because sometimes people, when they hear like poets or poetry, it's like stereotypically people see it as like, oh, it's motivational all the time, or it's lovely, or it's like you're always kind of in a positive mood. You know what I'm saying? So do you feel like that could be used to express like raw negative emotions?
People don't understand. Poetry gets dark. Like
Mm,
poetry gets dark. Oh man, I didn't heard stories that brought me to tears. Like, but that's why I say poetry is one of those talents, one of those things where you can do that, and it's like it's no filter behind it. It's more like you can get as deep as you want when it comes to poetry because poetry is a therapeutic outlet. Like it's therapeutic, but also it's a learning experience, and it's so much stuff that comes with poetry that you can accept, but you kind of just like it's depending on how your mind take it.
mm,
Um, and no, poetry is not always happy. Poetry, man, it's poets. And actually, most people would describe poetry to be very, you know, we got like the Love Jones and stuff, but poetry is one of the most saddest things ever sometimes. Like, I hate to say it because that's the only way you kind of can express your feelings deeply, like how I feel, because most poets, poetry is a journal to them. And so the ones that's actually comfortable letting it out, they letting out a journal. And most people they got a journal, they
mm,
got all their negative thoughts or their deepest secrets.
mm.
And so that's what poetry is, like poetry is one of the things where you can let your most deepest thoughts and deepest secrets out to the world if you choose to. So
Yeah.
you'll probably hear about suicidal. You'll probably hear about it gets deep. So
Yeah, that's true. That definitely makes sense. I feel like there has to be a balance in art too, like where you have positive things, you have positive messages, and then you have like the negative messages, but it's coming from a realistic standpoint. Like this is the dark side of like the world and what people are going through. So yeah. Okay, so I want to talk now more about your performances, right? So I want to talk about I really like that performance you did. I believe it was you shared it around February of last year. Um, I think it was about beauty, right?
like your beauty go beyond a man. It's like your beauty will leave a man days. It's like your beauty will let somebody blood pressure raise. Girl, your beauty can make a preacher pray. Your beauty can make an atheist pray. Your beauty can make a thug pray. Like when you walk up in rooms, you are center of attention. People break their necks just to show their attention. Like, baby,
your beauty so dang it. Your beauty so baby girl, your beauty can make a grown man speechless. So ladies, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror and tell yourself you're beautiful, and don't let a bum tell you not different. Like white, Chinese, Mexican, your skin color don't make a difference. Know that you're beautiful. Don't let nobody tell you different, because baby girl, your beauty is uncomprehended. Thank you.
You said, quote, your beauty will leave a man dazed. Your beauty will let someone's blood pressure raise. Your beauty can make an atheist pray. So, so I love towards the end, you acted out or you pretend to be speechless while referring to the idea of a person being speechless because they're attracted to this person that's so beautiful. And I love the message behind this. So what made you decide to create this poem? And, how did you feel before, during, and after this performance?
Wow. That was actually gonna be the poem I was gonna showcase.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah, you
yeah,
can still perform it though.
I got you. It's a funny story behind I got that poem. Um, I was on TikTok, right?
Mm.
I was watching the TikTok live, and this girl. She's very beautiful. But she's from Arkansas, and I didn't know that. And she's known for her voice because she got a very heavy accent.
Mm.
And so this dude was in the comment, and he was just like trying to flirt, and he was like, "Your beauty is uncomprehended." And I was like, "What? Where did that come from?" And I was like, "Hey, I kind of like that. Let's play around with that." So just got bored. I was at home, and I was just typing. And I was like, "Let me just write something." And I started playing around. And it's crazy. The one that you heard is not actually the full version. I cut out a whole part. I had the alfalfa line in there, and I cut it out because one day I was performing it and I forgot the line, and I just kept it that way.
Mm.
Um, what that performance is so crazy because with that performance, um, if it's the same time with that performance, I wasn't even at a poetry event. I was at a dance session. I was at a dance session that time, I believe, and I was the only poet there, and it was shocking because they were just like, I don't know why he asked me to perform, but I was like, "You want me to perform in a dance session?" And so yeah, and when I did it, it hit so hard because it was just the fact that at a dance session, it was a poet there, and the poet was good. And so, like,
Mm.
everybody was so excited, everybody was so crunk. And, yeah, it was an awesome moment. So I had a great time.
That's that's
Yeah.
that's awesome. It's kind of like those comments about like when Michael Jackson did his Super Bowl performance. It was like, why is there a football game at Michael Jackson's concert? Because like he just takes
Thanks.
the whole stage. His presence. So yeah, you did that and you did your thing on that. So awesome. Okay.
I
So this
appreciate
second
it.
poem, the skit of love.
I want a skit about a beautiful love story. Can you be the actor? In this scene, you're a beautiful queen and I'm the man of your dreams, but you just don't know it yet. So I gotta make sure the setup is smooth and clean. I'm rushing out the cafe since I finally got my coffee, and as I was walking out the shop, I was looking down, so my phone is all I can see. But when I opened the door, I hear, ah! And I slowly look up and I see coffee spilled on your jeans. I instantly hurried up, pull a towel on my jeans, and my skin was lighter with a bald head. You would have thought I was Mr. Clean.
Ooh.
I'm so sorry for messing up your jeans. As I'm looking up, I thought I died and went to heaven. Because this gotta be a dream.
Mm-hmm.
Her eyes was diamonds, her hair was Rapunzel, her skin was gorgeous. You can tell she was a cutie because she'd make you smile like you just got done eating one of them baby oranges. She said, "Sir, it's okay. Accident just happened. It's normal." She can leave a man speechless, have a conversation in your head like, snap out of it, act normal. I would reply with, "Oh, I'm so sorry. How can I make this up? Since your beauty is uncomprehended and I should die if I lie. If you talk about me and you, I want to be your medicine to your sickness. I want to be the refrigerator to your kitchen. I want to be the number if you're a variable. I want to be your coefficient. I want to be your criminal if you're my officer. I want no resisting. I want to be the orange to your juice. The steel toe to your boots. It's so serious that if you was a crackhead, hell, I'd be the crack that you shoot.
Run it back! Run it back! Run it back! Run it back!
You said, quote, if I wrote a skit about a beautiful love story, can you be the actor? You mentioned also, in this scene, you're a beautiful queen and I'm the man of your dreams. You just don't know it yet. Then you continue, you use a simile, like you use in this line, quote, you could tell she was a cutie because she would make you smile just like you just got done eating one of those baby oranges. You also mentioned, quote, I want to be the steel toe to your boots when describing how much you want to be supportive to this person you're attracted to. I like the introduction of this poem because you're letting your audience know, like, you're telling a story about love, but you also allow the audience to feel like they're interacting with the story also, in an indirect way, but, giving the audience a role in this skit of love. You could sense the imagery and how descriptive and exaggerated your words, using the comparisons and adjectives. So how did you come up with this? And yeah, how do you feel your overall performance was when you actually performed this on stage?
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. That's probably that poem right there got me the most. Besides the this poem, out of all my poems, that's got me the most reactions I ever got. Performing. That was like the most exciting crowd reaction ever. I wrote that poem because um, it was the love slam. For Lemon Pepper did a love slam. And so I was like, I wanna really play around with, love poems. But I'm an actor too. And so and I'm a storyteller. So I was just visualizing ways. I watch YouTube. Every time I perform, I usually try to watch YouTube, different poets or something like that. Or I'll try to watch a movie or something to get my mind set. And I was just thinking, like, man, how can I tell this story and flip it? Because my thing, I love writing poetry. They got a turn at the end. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I wrote it, I was like, man, let me take this to like a beautiful movie, like a love story thing, and where I can, like, you just meet the chick at a coffee place, like, and I just went from there, because most love stories you hear like they met at the most random place ever, like we
Right.
met at a park, like we was walking our dogs and our dogs started being friends, like,
I'm like, how does that
stuff like
happen?
yeah, and it's like, yeah, this has been my wife for 20 years now. Like, what? So yeah, that was one of those things, and I was just trying to use my all my talents put together. So acting, storytelling, poetry, to one, and boom, like,
Wow.
and my goal was to focus on much more punchlines because I try to I don't like writing. I learned when it comes to slamming, um, writing stories, but if they keep being run on sentences, it's gonna kind of catch up with you. Because
Mm-hmm.
people gonna be drained out, like, what you talking about? But I
Mm.
was like, if I can add more punchlines to it for people to stay like interested, they'll kind of win the crowd over. So yeah.
Okay, and based on what you mentioned, winning the crowd over, were you able to tell like how good of a job you were doing captivating the audience attention while you're performing, or did you kind of like realize it after you finished?
Um, like, I did. It was both, but that was one of those forms where certain parts, like, you could tell she was a cutie because she'll make it smell like you just got done, baby oranges. Like a moment like that, it's like, because people think about it, it's like, oh wow,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so yeah, it was little moments, yeah, little moments like that made the crowd kind of stay active and entertained by
When you start hearing those ums and those snaps, and that's how you. Okay.
it.
Okay, so just some conclusion questions before I let you showcase your poem. what advice do you have for people? I know you spoke about this different times throughout this conversation, but what advice do you have for people who want to be better at writing poems? People who want to even get into spoken word, or what advice do you have for those people that lack the confidence to perform in front of others?
Um, for starters, if it's for you, it's for you. So, go ahead up with it and try it. No matter what, if you feel in your heart that you want to do it, it would be better trying it than saying I wanted to try it and I never did. Because you'll never know if you're good at it until you actually get out there and do it.
Mm.
Um, so that's for starters. Just if you really in your heart want to do it, go ahead up with it and do it. Research. Look at YouTube and look at different poets. Look at TikTok, Instagram. Look at different poets and just see what style that they have and see which one you draw to, and then you kind of focus on how you want to be you. Don't try to, you can look and study poets, but don't try to write like them because people can tell when it's from you and then it's from somebody else. So, be yourself when you write. Um, Enjoy the moment, have fun. Don't feel like you just gotta go out there and perform and do the best because I learned by losing slams, by messing up. That's how I learned to become the poet that I am. Um, I also have fun, especially if you're religious, just have faith in it, pray about it, and just if God got it, made it for you, you will know. He gonna make sure that you learn and you perform and you do well at it. He'll give you the ideas to, be able to form your poetry like you need to. Um, and just don't stop. If you start, don't get to a point where you just give up. You gonna have a break because writing poetry, especially if you're a writer and you write a lot, you're gonna need a break.
Mm.
Like me being a person I am, when I slam, I wrote 3 poems each slam. So writing 3 poems is like 4 poems because you got 3 minutes to perform them. 3 minutes is a lot when you perform poetry. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so you know, um, just keep going, try, um, study, research, and practice, 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 practice. Because practice, the main part of practicing is working on wordplay, working on punchlines, working on pronunciation, working on how you can breathe in while you performing. Um, I didn't notice until I really started performing. Um, you gotta learn how to breathe when you're doing poetry,
Mm.
because you gotta learn how to do dramatic pauses. You gotta know when you can get your air back so you can hit your other punchlines and your stanzas. You gotta learn how to breathe when you perform, because if not, you will try to push all your words out, and then when you finally take that break, it's kind of like you rushed all your words out. Some people didn't understand what you was talking about, or
Mm.
you kind of rushed your punchlines, so,
Oh
stuff
yeah.
like that. But man,
Yeah, breath.
go have fun.
Yeah, breath control is definitely important when it comes to performing. From what I've learned as well. So, yeah. Okay, awesome. So how can an artist in general or performer such as yourself like boost their brand or become more known in their area? What can they do to like, move up the rings?
Open mics. Open mics to be your best friend. Or places where they have events where you can showcase your talent. Try it. Just see, because when you do that, you can see what crowd that you draw up. You can see what style you have, and also you can learn from different artists. So you know, always try to see if you can find an open mic or a space where you can practice your talent, your spoken word. If you into competing, try to find your nearest slam, poetry slam or poetry competition. and just try to enter it. Make sure you got the stuff for the rules. Like make sure your poems, whatever rules they have, make sure you actually got poetry written for the rules, and try it out. And that's the thing with me. With slamming, slamming kind of built me because going against different artists and learning against your opponents and learning your opponents, it kind of teach you how to build your way up. So slamming, open mics, and social media. If you post your poem on social media, just see the reaction you get, and just see your algorithm or what type of posts they put your videos around, or the posts you'll start seeing on your algorithm. That's kind of gonna match your style. So that's probably my main three that I would
Okay.
say.
Awesome, awesome. And lastly here, where do you see yourself in the future? What do you want your message or impact to be in this world as a poet?
Um, that's a deep question. Um, my my message or my impact as a poet, I want to say that I left a message or I impact the poets to no matter what, perform what's in your heart. Don't always focus on satisfying the crowd or something like that. Like, yes, that's a perk, but sometimes we gotta perform stuff that the crowd is not prepared for. You know,
Hmm.
like with me, I usually can switch a crowd mood up because everybody can be talking about, sadness, depression, negativity. I'll do a whole poem about love, like, and just switch everything up. So stuff like that, and go with your heart. Just go with your gut feeling. Go with your heart. Um, don't always worry about trying to sound like somebody or trying to perform like somebody because you your own poet, you your own artist. Even if you're not a poet, like whatever you do, remember that it's something that got to be done in your way, your style, so you can do the best that you can because it's naturally coming from here. It's naturally coming from your chest, your mind, and everything. So yeah, and go ahead over everything. Don't worry about if I'm gonna lose and stuff. And this a message to myself. Don't worry about if you'll lose or if the crowd don't fool with it or whatever. As long as you get up there and perform and try, that's all that matters. Because you got to realize you're a winner just because you got up there and perform. Like
Hmm.
most times, getting up there is the biggest decision ever. Like it's not even performing; it's literally getting on stage and realize you can recite some words in front of 50 people, or 100 people, or 10,000 people. Like that's the biggest decision ever.
Right.
So
Okay. Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. Well said. Well said. Okay. Okay, Big Mon. If you're ready to get started with your poem, I'll give the floor to you whenever you're ready.
If you was a book, you'd probably be a dictionary because it's too many words to pronounce, but it's a lot that describes you visually. Like your beauty go beyond a maze. Like your beauty will leave a man dazed. Like your beauty will let somebody blood pressure raise. Yeah, your beauty can make a preacher pray. Your beauty can make an atheist pray. Your beauty can make a thug pray. Baby girl, you so beautiful. Hey, you can turn a sweet man straight. Like when you walk in the room, you're a center of attention. People break their necks just to show their attention. Like, baby, your, your beauty so, your beauty so, dang, baby, you so beautiful. You just made a grown man speechless. So, ladies, look in the mirror and tell yourself you're beautiful, and don't let a bum tell you not different. Black, white, Chinese, Mexican, your skin color don't make a difference. Know that you're beautiful. Don't let nobody tell you not different because, oh girl, your beauty is uncomprehended. Big one.
Let's
Yeah.
go, Snap. Yes. Woo! Awesome.
Yes, that.
I saw that on your Instagram, but hearing you say it here, it makes it even more cooler. Getting to hear it from you That was awesome. Thank you so
Thanks.
much. Well,
I appreciate it.
well, just closing things out, I just want to thank you so much, Big Mun, for, just taking the time to want to discuss your journey with me and whoever is watching this, and just, share more about your experience being a poet and just being vulnerable with how you felt with everything. Like you mentioned, just wanting to continue to grow and stuff. Like, I see that for you, your peers, especially Rob and Jules. Like, you guys are trying and doing your best, so that's all that matters. So I hope you continue to do well, and I can't wait to see you take on bigger opportunities and inspire many more people. So just keep up the great work.
I guess, and I appreciate the opportunity to being allowed on your platform to be an interviewer, and just the positivity of the foundation that you send up for artists. I really appreciate it, and I support it.
Oh, thank you
And
so
I
much.
thank you for choosing me to be a person to interview.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. So thanks to anyone who has tuned in to this. If you like content such as this, feel free to like and share this video. Support independent artists by sharing this video. I'll put Big Mun's links in the description so you could check out more of his content, and maybe pop up in Arkansas and check out, go to one of his events where he performs. Okay, so so yeah, comment your thoughts. Let's keep the community speaking and talking, and with that being said, hope you enjoyed today's video, and see you guys next time. Take care.